Have you ever found yourself tossing and turning at night, drifting into sleep, only to be jolted awake by the urge to use the bathroom? You try to close your eyes again, but just when you're about to fall back asleep, the urge comes right back. And before you know it, you've spent the whole night walking back and forth between the bed and the bathroom instead of actually resting. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. For many seniors, this isn't just a small inconvenience, it's a nightly struggle. A struggle that slowly steals away your energy, your peace of mind, and your health. Imagine how different your mornings could feel if you actually got a full night's sleep without being interrupted 2, 3, even 4 times by nighttime urination. Here's the truth, waking up multiple times at night to pee, what doctors call nocturia, is more than just frustrating. It can lead to constant fatigue, memory problems, and even increase your risk of dangerous falls when you get up in the dark. And over time, it can wear down not just your body, but your spirit. Because sleep isn't just rest, it's healing. It's when your body repairs itself, when your mind resets, when your heart gets a chance to slow down and recharge. But here's the part most people don't realize. Sometimes, the difference between a restless night and a peaceful one comes down to the foods you eat in the evening, especially something as simple as the nuts you snack on. That's right, the very nuts sitting in your kitchen right now might either be helping you sleep through the night, or forcing you to make endless trips to the bathroom. And that's exactly what we're going to uncover today. In this video, you're going to learn about 5 powerful nuts you should be eating if you want to calm your bladder and enjoy uninterrupted sleep. And 5 nuts you may want to avoid, especially before bedtime. And I promise, the 3rd nut on the avoid list is going to surprise you, because it's one that most people actually think is healthy. So, let me ask you, do you, or someone you love, struggle with waking up at night to urinate? If so, drop a quick comment below saying, "That's me." You'll be amazed at how many others in our community are facing the exact same challenge. And who knows, you might just find comfort in knowing you're not going through this alone, and make sure you subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Tips. Stay with me until the very end, because by the time we're done, you'll have simple, practical knowledge that could change your nights, and your mornings, for the better. Let's begin with the very first nut on our list, walnuts. Now, picture this, you've just finished dinner. Instead of reaching for that piece of cake, or maybe a few cookies, you grab a small handful of walnuts. At first glance, it seems so simple, almost too simple. But that small choice can make a big difference in how your night unfolds. Walnuts are often overlooked, but they are incredibly powerful when it comes to supporting restful sleep and calming an overactive bladder. They're naturally rich in omega-3 fatty acids, those same healthy fats that keep your brain sharp and your heart strong. But here's the part most people don't realize, walnuts also contain melatonin, the very hormone your body uses to regulate sleep. By eating a few walnuts after dinner, you're essentially giving your body a natural signal that says, it's time to relax. It's time to prepare for rest. And there's more. Walnuts also help reduce inflammation in the body, including in the bladder. Think about that for a moment. If your bladder walls are irritated or inflamed, they'll send constant signals to your brain saying, "Empty me now," even when there's not much urine inside. That's one of the main reasons why so many seniors feel the urge to urinate at night. But with walnuts, you're giving your body tools to soothe that irritation, to calm those signals, and to help your bladder rest along with the rest of your body. Now, here's where a lot of people get it wrong. You might hear someone say, "Oh, I don't eat walnuts, they're too fatty. They'll make me gain weight." And that's a big misconception. Yes, walnuts contain fat, but it's the healthy kind of fat your body actually needs, fat that balances hormones, supports your metabolism, and yes, even plays a role in bladder control. It's not the fat in walnuts that causes weight gain, it's the processed snacks and sugar-filled desserts that we often eat instead. So, what's the takeaway here? If you want a simple, natural way to reduce nighttime bathroom trips, try swapping out your usual evening treat for just a small handful of walnuts. Not a whole bowl, just a small, mindful portion. That's enough to calm your bladder, support your sleep, and give your body the nutrients it's craving. It's a simple change. But sometimes, the simplest changes are the ones that quietly transform your nights. Next on our list are almonds. I want you to imagine this for a moment. There's a senior gentleman who used to love sitting in front of the television every evening with a small bowl of salty chips. It was his routine, his comfort. But every single night, without fail, he'd be up 2 or 3 times heading to the bathroom. Eventually, he decided to make a small change. He swapped those chips for a small handful of roasted almonds. Within weeks, he noticed something remarkable. Not only did he feel less bloated, but the constant trips to the bathroom at night became fewer and fewer. What seemed like such a small swap turned into a quiet transformation in his nightly rest. So, why are almonds so helpful? The secret lies in magnesium. Almonds are naturally rich in this mineral, and magnesium plays a powerful role in the body. It helps relax muscles, including the muscles of the bladder. When your bladder muscles are tense or irritated, they send urgent signals to your brain, even when the bladder isn't completely full. But with the gentle calming effect of magnesium, those muscles are able to relax. This means fewer unnecessary urges at night and a bladder that can actually rest while you rest. But almonds don't stop there. Magnesium also helps improve overall sleep quality by supporting the body's natural ability to relax and drift into deeper stages of sleep. So when you reach for almonds, you're not just feeding your body, you're feeding your sleep. Now, let's address a very common worry. Some people avoid almonds because they hear, nuts will make you gain weight. And while it's true that almonds are calorie-dense, moderate portions are actually your ally, not your enemy. The healthy fats and fiber in almonds keep you feeling satisfied longer, helping you avoid those late-night sugary snacks that really are the culprits behind unwanted weight gain. In fact, research shows that people who eat almonds regularly often have healthier body weight and better control of their appetite. And better weight control also means better bladder health. Extra weight around the midsection puts pressure on the bladder, increasing nighttime urgency. So in a way, almonds don't just calm the bladder directly, they also help lighten the load on it. There is, however, one important detail to remember: not all almonds are created equal. Salted almonds, while tasty, can make the problem worse. Too much salt in the evening causes your body to hold on to water, and that water has to go somewhere, usually sending you back and forth to the bathroom during the night. That's why choosing unsalted almonds, whether raw or lightly roasted, is always the best option. So here's the practical tip: keep a small jar of unsalted almonds in your kitchen, and the next time you crave an evening snack, grab a small handful instead of something salty or sugary. You may find that your bladder, your sleep, and even your energy in the morning will thank you for that small but powerful choice. Let's talk about another nut that can truly make a difference in your nightly routine: pistachios. Picture this: it's late in the evening, and you're feeling a little drowsy, but you're also craving something to snack on. Many people in that moment reach for a cup of coffee or even a sweet treat, thinking it will keep them comfortable until bedtime. But here's the problem: coffee and sugary snacks stimulate your body, they wake up your bladder, and they practically guarantee you'll be up again and again during the night. What if, instead of that late-night coffee, you reached for a small handful of pistachios? Not only would you satisfy that craving for something flavorful and crunchy, but you'd actually be supporting your body's natural sleep rhythms. You see, pistachios are one of the richest food sources of vitamin B6. And vitamin B6 plays a crucial role in producing two very important sleep-regulating hormones, serotonin and melatonin. These are the same chemicals your brain relies on to help you relax, to feel calm, and to ease your body into deep, restorative sleep. Think about that for a moment. While coffee pushes your system into alert mode, pistachios gently guide it into rest mode. And when your sleep hormones are balanced, you don't just fall asleep easier, you stay asleep longer. That means fewer unnecessary awakenings during the night, including those frustrating trips to the bathroom. So in a very real way, pistachios help your body create the conditions for uninterrupted rest. Now, here's a fun little misconception that often comes up. People see the vibrant green and purple colors of pistachios and assume they've been artificially dyed. But in reality, most pistachios are naturally that beautiful shade of green, thanks to a pigment called chlorophyll, the same natural compound found in leafy greens. So when you enjoy pistachios, you're not eating something processed or artificial. You're eating nature's own colorful design. But as with every nut, there's a right way and a wrong way to eat them. Pistachios covered in salt or seasoning might taste addictive, but all that extra sodium works against your bladder. Salt causes your body to hold on to more water, which eventually leads to, you guessed it, more nighttime bathroom trips. That's why if you want the bladder-friendly benefits, it's best to choose raw or lightly roasted pistachios, without added salt or heavy flavoring. So here's the takeaway: the next time you're tempted to sip on something caffeinated in the evening, grab a handful of pistachios instead. It's a small, mindful shift that can help your body settle into sleep, calm your bladder, and give you a deeper rest through the night. And isn't that what we all truly want? Nights where we can close our eyes, stay asleep, and wake up refreshed instead of exhausted? Let's move on to a nut that many people don't eat very often, but it has one of the most powerful effects when it comes to nighttime urination: Brazil nuts. Imagine this: you finish your evening meal, and instead of grabbing a handful of different snacks, you simply take one Brazil nut. Just one. It seems almost too small to matter, right? But here's the fascinating part: sometimes it's the tiniest change that can create the biggest impact. That single Brazil nut could be the difference between waking up 3 times during the night or finally enjoying a stretch of uninterrupted sleep. So, why is this nut so special? Brazil nuts are extremely rich in a mineral called selenium. And selenium isn't just another nutrient you forget about, it's a key player in keeping your body balanced as you age. For elderly men in particular, selenium is critical because it supports prostate health. And as you may already know, the prostate plays a major role in urinary function. When it's inflamed or not working properly, it can press on the bladder and cause those constant nighttime urges. But by giving your body selenium, you're supporting the prostate, calming the bladder, and reducing the intensity of nocturia, that frustrating pattern of waking up again and again to urinate. But it's not just men who benefit. Selenium also acts as a powerful antioxidant, protecting your cells from stress and inflammation. And when the bladder is calmer and less irritated, the signals it sends to your brain in the middle of the night become fewer. That means fewer bathroom trips, fewer broken sleep cycles, and more mornings where you wake up feeling restored instead of drained. Now here's where I need to clear up a common misconception. When people hear that Brazil nuts are healthy, the first instinct is often, if one is good, then more must be better. But with Brazil nuts, that's not the case. In fact, too many Brazil nuts can actually cause selenium overload, and that can be harmful to your body. So this is not a nut you eat by the handful. With Brazil nuts, the golden rule is moderation. And here's the best part: you only need a tiny amount to get the benefit. For most people, just 1 or 2 Brazil nuts a day is more than enough to give your body all the selenium it needs. That's it. 1 or 2. No more. So if you're looking for a simple, natural way to support your bladder, protect your prostate, and calm those nighttime urges, make Brazil nuts a part of your evening routine. Place just 1 or 2 in a small bowl after dinner, and enjoy them slowly. Think of them as your little nightly investment toward a peaceful, uninterrupted night's sleep. Because sometimes, it's not about eating more, it's about eating smart. And now we come to the 5th nut on our list: hazelnuts. A nut that most people only think about when they see a jar of chocolate spread or a box of fancy chocolates. But the truth is, hazelnuts in their natural form are far more powerful than most people realize, especially when it comes to nighttime urination and healthy sleep. Picture this for a moment. It's the end of a long day. You've settled into your favorite chair, maybe with a warm cup of calming herbal tea, something gentle like chamomile or lemon balm. And alongside that cup, instead of a sugary dessert, you have just a few hazelnuts. You take your time, you chew them slowly, and you let your body unwind. That small ritual of pairing tea with hazelnuts isn't just relaxing, it's giving your body nutrients that directly support your bladder and your nervous system as you prepare for rest. Here's why hazelnuts deserve your attention. They're packed with vitamin E and powerful antioxidants. Vitamin E isn't just for skin health, it plays a critical role in supporting nerve function throughout the body. And when we think about bladder control, we often forget that the bladder is not just a muscle, it's connected to the nervous system. If the nerves that send signals to the bladder are weak, damaged, or overly sensitive, the result is often urgency, frequent trips to the bathroom, and poor control. But by nourishing your nerves with antioxidants and vitamin E, you're giving your body the tools it needs to strengthen those pathways and calm the bladder. Another benefit of hazelnuts is their gentle balance of healthy fats and fiber. This combination helps stabilize blood sugar, which is very important for elderly health. Why? Because high blood sugar can irritate the bladder and cause it to work overtime. By keeping your levels steady, hazelnuts help your body avoid the spikes and crashes that often wake you up at night. Now, let's address the big misconception. Most people only know hazelnuts as part of sugary spreads, chocolate truffles, or holiday treats. And while those taste good, they're often loaded with sugar and oils that completely cancel out the natural benefits of the nut. The real magic of hazelnuts shows up when you eat them raw, or lightly roasted, without all the sugar attached. That's when their nutrients stay intact, and that's when they truly help your body. So here's the advice: if you want to give your bladder and your nerves a gentle boost before bed, keep a small portion of raw or lightly roasted hazelnuts nearby. Combine them with a soothing evening tea, and turn it into a bedtime ritual. Not only will you satisfy your craving for something nutty and rich, but you'll also be quietly supporting your bladder health, calming your nerves, and preparing your body for deeper sleep. It's a simple, comforting step. But over time, it can make a big difference in how many times you're waking up at night, and how rested you feel in the morning. Now that we've gone through the 5 nuts that can actually help you sleep better and reduce nighttime urination, it's time to talk about the other side, the nuts you may want to stay away from in the evenings. And first on that list is one of the most common and widely eaten of them all, peanuts. Think about how often peanuts show up in everyday life. A small bowl at a family gathering. A packet handed out on a bus ride or flight. A late-night snack while watching television. For many people, peanuts feel harmless, almost too ordinary to even question. But here's the truth: just because they're common, doesn't mean they're the best choice for your bladder, especially before bed. The surprising fact is that peanuts aren't actually nuts at all, they're legumes. They belong to the same family as beans and lentils. And while legumes can be healthy in some situations, peanuts often carry a hidden downside for people struggling with nighttime urination. They can be inflammatory. That means when you eat peanuts, especially in larger amounts, they can trigger irritation in your body, including in the bladder. And when the bladder lining is irritated, it becomes restless. It sends out constant signals telling your brain, "Empty me, even if I'm not full." That's why for some seniors, a handful of peanuts in the evening can quickly turn into multiple bathroom trips during the night. But here's where things get tricky. Because peanuts are so affordable and everywhere, many people assume they're safe for every situation. They're sold as an easy source of protein, they're handed out in little snack packs, and they're marketed as heart-healthy. And while they might be fine in moderation for some people during the day, they can be the exact opposite of what you need when you're trying to protect your sleep at night. Another factor to keep in mind is how peanuts are usually prepared. Rarely do people eat them raw. Most peanuts you'll find in stores or at gatherings are salted, roasted in oil, or even coated with sugar and flavorings. That extra salt makes your body hold on to more fluid, which eventually gets released during the night. And those sugary coatings? They only irritate the bladder further, not to mention disrupt your blood sugar levels, another reason you might wake up in the middle of the night. So, what can you do if you love peanuts? The answer isn't that you can never eat them again. It's about timing. If peanuts are something you enjoy, try having them earlier in the day, perhaps as part of lunch or an afternoon snack. That way, your body has time to process them long before bedtime, reducing the risk of bladder irritation while you sleep. It's all about being mindful. When it comes to protecting your rest and giving your bladder a chance to calm down, peanuts just don't make the cut for nighttime snacking. So if you've been eating them in the evening, and you've noticed frequent trips to the bathroom at night, this one small adjustment, moving peanuts to earlier in the day, might make a bigger difference than you expect. Let's move on to the second nut you'll want to be careful with in the evenings, and this one may come as a real surprise to many people: cashews. Cashews are one of those snacks that almost feel fancy. You'll see them in mixed nut jars, tossed into stir-fries, blended into creamy sauces, or even turned into dairy-free cheese spreads. For a lot of people, cashews are a favorite treat, smooth, slightly sweet, and marketed as heart-healthy. But when it comes to nighttime bladder health, cashews may not be the friend you thought they were. Here's why. Cashews are naturally high in compounds called oxalates. Now, oxalates aren't harmful for everyone, but for certain individuals, especially older adults, they can stir up trouble. Oxalates can contribute to the formation of kidney stones, and they can also increase irritation in the urinary tract. That irritation often shows up as urgency, that sudden, uncomfortable feeling of needing to go, even when your bladder isn't completely full. So imagine trying to sleep peacefully, but your bladder keeps sending false alarms because of what you snacked on earlier. That's the problem cashews can create for some people. And here's the tricky part: most people see cashews as a healthy choice. They're often promoted in health magazines, diet blogs, and even commercials as good for your heart, a better alternative to chips or candy. And yes, in moderation during the day, cashews can be part of a balanced diet. But the issue is that what's good for your heart isn't always good for your bladder. That's the distinction many people don't realize. There's another detail worth noting too. Cashews are calorie-dense and slightly higher in natural sugars compared to other nuts. That sweetness, while pleasant, can spike blood sugar for some people. And when your blood sugar fluctuates at night, it can affect not just your bladder but also your sleep cycle. You might find yourself waking up restless, and then the bladder urgency adds to the problem. So what should you do if you enjoy cashews? The key isn't to banish them from your diet forever. Instead, it's about moderation and timing. A small handful earlier in the day, say, around lunchtime, can give you the creamy satisfaction without disturbing your night. But large portions in the evening, or making them your go-to bedtime snack, can be a recipe for restless sleep and repeated trips to the bathroom. One practical tip is this: if you love mixed nuts and often snack on them at night, check what's inside the jar. Cashews are almost always included, and sometimes they make up a larger portion than you realize. Try choosing a mix with more bladder-friendly nuts like almonds or walnuts instead. That one switch could make your evenings more peaceful and your nights less interrupted. At the end of the day, it's about listening to your body. If you've noticed that your bathroom trips are more frequent on nights when you've enjoyed cashews, that's your body giving you a signal. And by simply adjusting the timing and portion size, you can still enjoy the flavor of cashews without sacrificing your rest. Let's talk about something almost everyone has in their pantry, or has grabbed while watching TV at night, and that's salted mixed nuts. You know the kind. A handful here, a handful there, maybe straight out of the tin or the little party bowl sitting on the coffee table. It feels harmless, even comforting. But here's the reality: that so-called innocent snack could be the very reason you're waking up at 2 in the morning, heading back and forth to the bathroom. Here's what's really happening. Salt, or more specifically, sodium, causes your body to hold onto extra water. This is called fluid retention. During the day, that fluid may not bother you too much, but once you lie down at night, your body starts to shift that fluid around. It moves from your legs and tissues into your bloodstream, and your kidneys suddenly go into overdrive to filter it out. The result? You find yourself waking up with the urge to urinate, sometimes multiple times, just because of that salty snack you enjoyed before bed. And here's the part that tricks most people. The label on the can might say, lightly salted or sea salted, and that makes it sound healthier, almost guilt-free. But for sensitive bladders, especially in older adults, even that light salt is still too much. Remember, your body doesn't measure the salt by marketing terms, it reacts to every grain. And even if you don't feel the immediate effects during the day, your bladder will absolutely remind you once the lights are out. There's another sneaky issue with salted mixed nuts. It's not just the salt. It's the mix itself. Many party blends include cashews, peanuts, or other nuts that are already not bladder-friendly. Add salt on top of that, and you've got a double hit: bladder irritation from the nut itself, and fluid overload from the sodium. No wonder so many people wake up groggy and frustrated after what seemed like just a simple bedtime snack. But here's the encouraging news. You don't have to give up the tradition of munching on nuts altogether. The key is making a smarter swap. If you enjoy that crunchy, satisfying bite before bed, choose unsalted varieties. Walnuts, almonds, hazelnuts, or even a small handful of pistachios, when they're raw or unsalted, can give you the same sense of comfort without sending your bladder into overdrive. And if you're used to that salty flavor, here's a trick: gradually transition. Mix half salted and half unsalted nuts together for a while, until your taste buds adjust. Most people don't realize how quickly they can adapt, and before long, you won't miss the extra salt at all. Think about it this way. That handful of salted mixed nuts might taste good for 5 minutes, but is it really worth losing hours of precious, uninterrupted sleep? Especially when we know how critical deep rest is for memory, mood, and even fall prevention as we age. Your body deserves better, and sometimes, it's just a matter of making a small, intentional change in the evening. So the next time you reach for that party mix, pause for a second. Ask yourself, do I want flavor that lasts for a moment, or do I want rest that lasts through the night? That little choice could be the difference between tossing and turning, or waking up refreshed and ready for the day ahead. Let's move on to a nut that many people see as special, even luxurious: the macadamia nut. You'll often find them in fancy gift baskets, premium snack packs, or even dipped in chocolate as a holiday treat. They're buttery, smooth, and undeniably delicious. But here's the truth: while macadamia nuts might feel like a luxury on your taste buds, they're not such a luxury for your bladder, especially if you're eating them late in the evening. Here's why. Macadamias are one of the highest fat nuts you can eat. And while those fats are the healthy kind that support heart health and brain function, timing is everything. When you eat something this rich in fat right before bedtime, your digestion slows down significantly. That means your stomach is still working overtime when the rest of your body is trying to rest. For many people, this leads to nighttime discomfort, sometimes bloating, sometimes indigestion, and that stress on your system can also put extra pressure on your bladder. And remember this: when your digestion is sluggish, your body often signals you to get up during the night, not just for bathroom trips, but sometimes simply because you feel restless or uneasy. Combine that with an aging bladder that's already sensitive, and suddenly what seemed like a harmless bedtime treat becomes a real sleep disruptor. Now, here's a big misconception people have. We're told all the time that healthy fats are good for us, and they are. But many folks take that advice to mean that the timing doesn't matter. The truth is, even the healthiest fat can work against you if you eat it too close to bedtime. What your body appreciates at noon for steady energy can become a burden at 10 p.m. when it's just trying to wind down. That's the part most people miss. But don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you need to avoid macadamia nuts altogether. In fact, they can be a wonderful addition to your diet, just not right before you go to sleep. A few macadamias in the afternoon, maybe as part of a salad or alongside some fruit, can give you that creamy texture and boost of nutrients without disturbing your night. The key is to enjoy them earlier in the day, when your body can process those rich fats with ease. Think of it like this. Imagine you're about to settle down for the night, but instead of letting your home grow quiet, you decide to run the dishwasher, the laundry machine, and the vacuum all at once. That's exactly what eating heavy, fatty foods before bed does to your body. It keeps everything running when it should be resting. And your bladder, unfortunately, ends up caught in the middle of that late-night chaos. So the next time you're tempted to nibble on a few macadamia nuts in the evening, pause for a moment. Ask yourself if you'd rather have that smooth, buttery flavor now, or a full night of peaceful, uninterrupted sleep. Because your body will thank you far more for the rest than for the late-night richness. The bottom line? Macadamias are best saved for daylight hours, when their nutrients can lift you up, not weigh you down. At night, it's simply not worth the trade-off. Let's talk about one of the sneakiest culprits of all, flavored or candied nuts. You know the kind: honey-roasted almonds, cinnamon sugar pecans, or chocolate-coated peanuts. They look inviting, they taste irresistible, and they feel like the perfect little bedtime indulgence. But here's the problem: when you add sugar and artificial flavorings to nuts, you're no longer giving your body a gentle, nourishing snack. You're giving it a jolt it doesn't need, right before sleep. Let's look at the science behind it. When you eat candied or sweetened nuts in the evening, your blood sugar rises quickly. That spike feels good at first, it can even give you a small boost of energy, but it's short-lived. Within an hour or two, that sugar rush comes crashing down. And when your blood sugar crashes while you're asleep, your body may jolt awake. For many older adults, this sudden dip is one of the hidden reasons they find themselves restless at night, sometimes even wide awake at 2 a.m. But there's another layer. Sugar and artificial additives don't just affect blood sugar, they irritate the bladder lining as well. If you already struggle with nighttime trips to the bathroom, this irritation makes it even harder to stay asleep. Instead of your bladder resting quietly through the night, it becomes more active, sending you signals to get up even when it isn't truly full. Now, here's the misconception that so many of us fall into: it's just a small handful, what harm could it do? But the truth is, even a small serving of candied nuts can trigger the exact same problems. It's not about quantity alone, it's about timing and ingredients. At night, when your body is winding down and your systems are more sensitive, even a little sugar, a little honey glaze, or a dusting of chocolate can throw everything off balance. Think of it like this: imagine settling into bed, ready for peace and quiet, when suddenly someone switches on a bright overhead light. That's what sugar does inside your body at night. It flips a switch that keeps your system alert, when it should be calming down. And once your body is on that cycle, spike, crash, irritation, it becomes much harder to get the deep, restorative sleep you truly need. Now, let's be clear. Flavored nuts aren't evil. They can be enjoyable, festive, and fun, especially around holidays or special occasions. But they're best saved for earlier in the day, when your body has the energy and time to process them properly. If you enjoy a small handful of honey-roasted almonds with lunch, or chocolate-covered peanuts as an afternoon pick-me-up, your body can handle that much better than it can at bedtime. So the advice here is simple: avoid sweetened or flavored nuts in the evening. If you're craving something at night, choose plain, raw, or lightly roasted nuts instead. You'll still get the satisfaction of a crunchy snack, without the roller coaster of sugar spikes, bladder irritation, and broken sleep. Because in the end, it's not about denying yourself pleasure, it's about choosing the right kind of pleasure at the right time. And when you do that, you'll wake up feeling rested, steady, and grateful that you listened to your body's true needs. It can be exhausting, frustrating, and even deeply lonely to face sleepless nights, waking again and again just to shuffle to the bathroom. For many, it's not just about losing sleep, it's about losing peace of mind. The bed becomes a place of anxiety instead of rest, and each night feels like a battle you never asked for. And for elderly loved ones, this toll is heavier. Every broken night affects their energy, their memory, their balance, and even their mood the next day. But here's the perspective shift: the answer doesn't always lie in expensive treatments, complicated routines, or medications that come with side effects. Sometimes, it lies in the smallest details, the kind of choices we often overlook. Even something as ordinary as the nuts you snack on in the evening can either aggravate the problem or gently ease it. That's simple. Think about it. What if one mindful swap, a handful of walnuts instead of salted cashews, almonds instead of honey-roasted peanuts, could mean fewer bathroom trips and deeper rest? What if you could reclaim just one more hour of uninterrupted sleep tonight? Over time, those hours add up. That's more energy to play with your grandchildren. More clarity to enjoy conversations. More strength to move with confidence. And most importantly, more peace at night. So tonight, I want you to try this. Instead of reaching for salted or candied nuts, reach for walnuts, almonds, or even hazelnuts. Instead of telling yourself that nothing will change, give your body the chance to prove you wrong. Because even small changes, when practiced consistently, can shift the way your nights unfold. You are not powerless. And you are not alone in this. Every choice, no matter how small, is a step toward healing, toward rest, toward reclaiming the nights that feel stolen from you. By choosing wisely, by understanding your body, you are giving yourself the gift of hope, and that is powerful. So remember this: restful nights are not a luxury. They are a right, a necessity, and a possibility at any age. And tonight can be the first step in proving that to yourself. To recap, let's bring it all together. 5 nuts that can truly support you in preventing nighttime urination and encouraging deeper rest are walnuts, almonds, pistachios, Brazil nuts, and hazelnuts. These are your allies, small but mighty, packed with nutrients that work quietly through the night to calm the bladder, balance hormones, and restore your sleep. And then, we have the 5 to be careful with: peanuts, cashews, salted mixes, macadamias, and candied nuts. These may taste satisfying in the moment, but when eaten before bed, they can lead to restless nights, more bathroom trips, and the exhaustion that follows. Remember, the difference is not just in the nut itself, it's in the timing, the portion, and the awareness you bring to your choices. Now, let me ask you something. Which of these surprised you the most? Did you expect peanuts to actually work against your sleep? Or were you more surprised to hear how just a single Brazil nut can quietly support prostate and bladder health? And beyond that, what's your favorite bedtime snack? Do you already enjoy a small handful of almonds before winding down? Or maybe you've been unknowingly reaching for something that has been making your nights harder without realizing it. I'd love to hear your thoughts, your experiences, even your personal tips. Share them in the comments below. Not only does it help you engage, but it also builds a community where others can learn from your story. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. That small gesture tells the platform this content matters and helps others who are struggling with the same sleepless nights discover it too. And don't forget to subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Tips, where every day, I share simple, science-backed advice designed to make life healthier, easier, and more enjoyable. For you and for the people you love. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with me today. I hope what you've learned empowers you to make even just one small change tonight that can ripple into a better tomorrow. Stay healthy, stay wise, and until we meet again in the next video, sleep well, rest deeply, and take care of yourself.